Greetings and salutations, my friends. My name is Samantha, and today we're going to be filming a really exciting video. I'm just really happy. I filmed this intro like after I read all these books, and just what a time. I guess I should tell you guys what we're filming, right? So today we're going to be doing another video, a part of the series that I like to call Author Binge. It's basically a series on my channel where I pick one author and read 3 or 4 of their books just to see what their writing style is and if I like them. And today the author that we're going to be reading from is Beverly Jenkins. So many people have recommended Beverly Jenkins to me. She is just one of those historical romance authors that I have heard nothing but great things about. She writes a lot of historical romances set in America. A lot of her books are very rich in history and in culture. I have been really excited to read from her, so that is what we're going to be doing today. This video is pretty long. I kind of did a little bit of a reading vlog, told you guys my thoughts about the books. I threw in a little book haul just because I had some books that I bought this week that just didn't really fit in its own video, so I just threw it in here. So it's kind of like a mosh posh of things. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the books that we're going to be reading this week. I have a bunch of Beverly Jenkins books that I bought off of thrift books. If you guys want to see the video where I hauled these books, I will leave the link down below, as well as the link to the other videos in this series and my other author binges. So because this is a very lengthy video, I'm going to kind of just quickly go through the books that we're going to be reading, and I will tell you the synopses as we go on in the video. So the first book that we read is going to be Indigo, which I think is one of her older books and probably one of the most popular. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. I knew I had to have it on the list because so many people rave about this audiobook. In this video, I'm also going to be reading the Destiny series, so I listened to Destiny's Embrace in audio. We have Destiny's Surrender, which I love, love, love this cover, the purple dress. It's everything to me. And we also have the third book in that series, Destiny's Captive. This follows 3 brothers, the Yates brothers, and it's just like a super captivating series. I'm really excited to show you guys my thoughts for that. And lastly, we also read Forbidden, which is another book that I know is super, super popular with Beverly Jenkins fans. So many people talk about and rave about this book, so I knew I had to include it in this video. I know that was a really quick overview of all the books, but I will go more in depth of my thoughts on the stories and the synopsises later on in the video. So yeah, let's just get started with the video, and I hope you guys enjoy. It's so hot. Whew. I was like dying to take that mask off. I'm like sweating so bad. Sorry if I'm screaming at you guys. My air conditioning is on and I want to make sure you can hear me. Yes? Okay. I went to the bookstore in hopes to find some Beverly Jenkins books, and I wasn't successful. I didn't find any Beverly Jenkins books, which makes me sad, but that's okay. I did place an order on thrift books, which will be coming soon, and I'll have some physical copies in my hand. I don't know what this gesture was, and I did find some really good finds at the bookstore today, which I will haul for you guys when we get home. Some historical romance, some fantasy. It was like a mix of stuff that I found. So all in all, it was a decent haul. Not what I came for, but good stuff nonetheless. Oh my god, it is so hot. I'm gonna head home now. I hope you guys are all having a really good day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hi there. It is several hours later from when I went to the bookstore. I came home, I ate dinner, I watched some TV. My hair is crazy, my makeup is melting off. Forgive me. Okay, enough. I have the goods. Let me show you what I got. So the first book that I got is Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. I love Maggie Stiefvater. I read her Raven Cycle series, which I know is super popular in BookTube for very good reason. But I also read her other books, All the Wicked Saints, or All the Wicked Saints? Is that the name of the book? I'm gonna put it on the screen because I forgot the name. And then I also read The Scorpio Races, which I loved that book. So I haven't read her more paranormal werewolf series, so I definitely need to. And when I saw this book, I was super intrigued because the lettering is green. Is that not the oddest thing you've ever seen? Like, I've never seen a book in green lettering. I'm very excited to have this one. It's a little beat up, but I'm really excited to have it in my collection. The other one I got is in amazing condition, and I believe this is a relatively new release. This is Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. It looks like that. Very excited to have in my collection. I actually got this for free because I had a coupon with the bookstore, so that was exciting. I don't know what this book is about. It's about mermaids, I'm assuming. The rest are historical romance, obviously. So let me just run through these really quick. It's funny because when I got home, my dad had asked me, oh, what books did you get? And I was like, you know, just a lot of historical romances. And he's like, yeah, like what is the plot of the book, or what are the books about? And I'm like, I don't know. I picked them because the covers were pretty. I'm so horrible. Okay, so these first few books I have actually heard nothing about. I've never even heard of the author. So if you guys read from this author, please let me know. Let me know what you think of her. This is a series by Alexandra Hawkins. It's her Lord of Vice series. 4 books. We have Sunrise with a Notorious Lord. We have After Dark with a Scoundrel. We also have Twilight with the Infamous Earl. And then lastly, All Afternoon with a Scandalous Marquise. How do you pronounce that word, guys? Let me know. Next, I got Rules of Engagement by Christina Dodd. I'm not sure if I have this one already. No, I don't. I definitely don't. So that's what that step book looks like. This is like a fake step back. Like, come on. There's no, like, sexy people in the front. Come on. What kind of step back is that? Next, we have Highland Spirits by Amanda Scott. And I just thought this cover was so cute. It's like an illustrated historical romance, which I don't really see often. I thought this was a really cute cover. It's a Highlander romance. I haven't read a lot of Highlander romances. Next, I have in Eloisa James. This is The Duke Is Mine. That's what that looks like. And this one has a step back. A very lovely step back, if I might say. Next up, I got a Jude... how do you pronounce her last name? Jude DeRoe? I'm not good at pronouncing last names. Sorry. This is The Taming, and these had some serious yellow pages. It looked like an absolute classic. Next, I got a, oh my gosh, I don't even remember grabbing this one. This is a Nicola Jordan book. It's called To Desire a Wicked Duke. I don't remember picking this one up, but it must have been meant to be. And then, oh, another Sophie Jordan. This is The Scandal of It All. And this is a new release, or relatively new. It was released in 2017. So, that's what that looks like. Pretty good condition. Very excited. Those are all the books I got. Sorry that none of these books were Beverly Jenkins. I'm still waiting on my order from Thrift Books to receive her books. I'm also going to read some of her books on Scribd. But I thought you guys would be interested in seeing some of the books that I hauled recently. What is a recent book that you guys bought? Let me know. And I will talk to you guys when my Thrift Books package comes in. Okay, bye. Hello, beautiful people. Oh, it's my turn to go. Ooh, I'm waiting in line. I'm not driving. I'm in the drive-through, not driving. You know, gotta be safe. Gotta be safe. Okay, sorry. Hi. I feel like I haven't vlogged that much. It's been a really busy week. I wanted to stop and say that I have been reading the Beverly Jenkins books, and they are amazing, fantastic, perfect, some of the best books I've ever read, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more in depth about them. But yeah, right now I'm listening. I just finished the audiobook of Indigo. Fabulous. Just fabulous. I'm going to talk about it more when I get home. And I think I'm going to start the audiobook to Destiny's Embrace. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see what I get started in. Right now I'm going to get some food in my belly. I'm hungry. It's lunchtime. I hope you guys are all having a really good week and staying safe. And yeah, I will update you guys more when I get home. Testing, testing, testing. Is the lighting good? Is the lighting good?
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. This is Benny on the dispatch. Yo, attention, yo, attention. It's Benny. I'd like to mention I'm on the microphone this morning. Home to home if you want it. Okay.
I'm in such a weird mood, if you can't tell. Sorry, when I said like testing, because I was making sure like the lighting was good, it reminded me of that song from In the Heights. I think it's called like Benny's Dispatch. Okay, moving on. Can you guys tell that I'm super excited for Hamilton? Oh, I'm so excited. Today is Thursday, the 2nd, July 2nd. I had to think for a second. So tomorrow Hamilton comes out. This is going to be posted after Hamilton is released, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. Okay, moving on. I have a ton of updates. I have read 3 books. Yeah, I've read 3 books, and I want to share them with you guys. Let's just start off by saying that this is probably my favorite author binge that I have ever done, because Beverly Jenkins is absolutely fantastic. I am so just in awe of her writing and her talent. So let's go ahead and talk about the books that I read. As you can tell, I really enjoyed them, so I'm going to just kind of breeze through the synopsis and my little reviews. Let's just do this. Alright, so the first book that I read was Indigo, and I listened to that on an audiobook, and I gave that book a 5 out of 5 stars. Wow, this book blew me away. So this book follows our main characters, Hester and Wyatt, and it is taking place during the time of the Underground Railroad. And the setting of this book is so incredibly well crafted. Beverly Jenkins has truly mastered her craft of getting the reader to feel invested into the story. I just cannot sing the praises of this book enough. I'm like trying to form words of how much I love this book, and it's difficult. I think this is really like one of my favorite books that I have read this year and like ever. This book truly felt like a love letter to historical romance. It has all of those things that you love, and just like as a romance reader, it's just the most beautiful story I've ever read, truly. Hester is a conductor of the Underground Railroad. Her house is a safe house for a lot of people who are coming from the south, trying to go to the north and into Canada so they can be free. So she meets Wyatt under his moniker. Is that the right word? Moniker? Under his name, the Black Daniel. And the Black Daniel is like this vigilante that frees slaves and helps people on the road. And he comes into her home injured, and she basically nurses him to health. And their romance ensues. Their romance is the best slow burn romance I have ever read. It's like this very slow, sweet seduction, and I just ate that shit up. Like, I loved these two characters together. Probably my favorite couple. I don't want to put like any spoilers or anything, but there is a proposal in this book, and the proposal was so sweet and so, oh my gosh, I cried, I laughed. This book was fabulous. Side note, I think I've worn this shirt in a video before, but that's what washing machines were invented for, right? Right. Okay, so I washed the shirt, it's clean. I just realized as I sat down for this video that I've worn this shirt, I think like in my last video. Okay, anyways. What's really great about this story, besides the romance, is that it is taking place during the Underground Railroad during that time. And this story is very rich in culture and is extremely well crafted, showing you a perspective of the struggles that people of color went through in that time. It's powerful in a way that really makes you think while you're having this romance just beautifully interwoven into the story. And like I said, it is like a love letter to historical romance. It is just flawless. 5-star read, blew me away, cannot recommend this enough. Gosh, I love that book. The next book I read was Forbidden, and this is the first book in the Old West series, and it follows our main characters, Ryan and Eddie. Eddie, is that her name? Yes, Eddie. Sorry, my brain like froze for a second. Ryan, oh Ryan is so fine, sweet like wine. I loved him so much. Ryan, I know I said this about the last book, but I really think Ryan is one of my favorite characters I have ever read about. Just magnifique. So this story follows Eddie, our heroine, who is pursuing her dreams and trying to make her way to California to open her own restaurant. She feels like she will have more opportunities as a woman of color to go to California, and just kind of wants to make a better life for herself. So she makes the trek to California. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but on her way to California, she does have some troubles, and she ends up very ill in the desert, where our main character, our hero, Ryan, finds her, and he kind of nurses her back to health. So it's kind of like the opposite of Indigo in that way. The main conversation in this story is that Ryan is a very successful, wealthy businessman, very revered in his community, and just like this upstanding, powerful man. He's able to do that in this time and have those privileges because he is passing as white, even though he is not. And then our heroine, Eddie, comes into town, and she is this amazing, strong-willed, intelligent, and talented woman who he falls in love with, but socially it's not acceptable because she is a woman of color and he is passing for white. And being with her is forbidden, hence the title. Just goes through their romance and the struggles that they go through. And I'm telling you guys, this book is so sweet and so romantic, and the conversation of him passing as white and the privileges that he has is fascinating and powerful. So I highly recommend this book. I loved these characters together. I'm sure you guys can guess I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I don't even know like which book I liked more, Indigo or Forbidden. They were just so great, and the male heroes were so swoon-worthy. This is just like the tip-top gold, the true gold of historical romance. You can't get any better than this. While we are talking about that book, I did want to mention a book called Passing by NELLA LARSEN. And this book was originally recommended to me by Bree from Bree Hill. I think her Instagram name is Falling for Romance. I will leave her Instagram and her YouTube, all of her information down below. She is fabulous. She is an amazing resource for romance readers. She mentioned Passing by NELLA LARSEN as being one of her favorite books, and the topic of someone passing for white during that time is also discussed in this book. This book follows 3 women who pass for white, and the conversation in this book is extremely powerful and thought-provoking. One of the women passes for white, and her husband does not know who she is and her true heritage, and himself is very racist. If you liked Forbidden by Beverly Jenkins, I feel like you guys would like this book as well. It was a very short audiobook. I think it was only like 4 hours. And this book was originally published in, I want to say, 1920 something. I have it written down. 1929 is when this book was published, and the conversations and the topics that is discussed in this book is still relevant today, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. So if you were looking for more to read, I highly recommend this book. One more thing that I would recommend to you guys, if you kind of like the realm of Beverly Jenkins and just historical romances that are set in America, I would really recommend the podcast called Fated Mates. This is another recommendation from Bree Hill. She was just talking about this in one of her YouTube videos, and it's a romance podcast that Sarah McLean created. Sarah McLean is a wonderful, talented historical romance author. She wrote the Bare Knuckled Bastard series, and she also wrote one of my favorite series. I can't talk today. She wrote one of my favorite series called Love by Numbers, and I loved those books. She has this romance podcast where they talk about everything romance. The episode that Bree recommended and the one I first listened to and is relevant to the books that I'm talking about is the one where they talk about unusual historical romances. And by unusual romances, they're basically talking about any romance that is not set in that Regency time frame. So anything that's not set in Great Britain with like dukes and earls and all of those titles. When you think of historical romances, and I am absolutely guilty of this, I read a lot of historical romances that are based in England. I love a good ball. I love like a reformed rake and all the titles, the proper like etiquette. It's just fascinating. It's kind of like an escapism read, but that is not the only historical romance that is out there. So if you like historicals, I think you guys would love this podcast. And also, if you guys are someone who says, I don't really read American historical romances, consider changing that up, because you are doing yourself an extreme disservice, because you are missing out on amazing books like Beverly Jenkins. There's so much in the romance genre to find and to discover and to learn from. So I highly, highly recommend branching out. If you guys want another historical romance that is set in America to read, I would recommend that podcast because they give great book recommendations. But also, I am reading another one called Heart and Hand by Rebel Carter. This is available on Kindle Unlimited, so if you guys have that service, pick this book up. I'm only like 30-40% into the book. I'm not finished with it, so I don't have like a final rating. I am really enjoying it. Basically, the story is set in America. It follows our main character, who is a mail order bride to not 1, but 2 men. That just sounds amazing, and it is amazing. So yes, like I said, I'm like 40% of the way through, but I'm really loving it. I can really see this being like a 4, maybe a 5-star depending how the rest of the book goes. Whew, I feel like I had so much to tell you guys. I had so many updates. We have one last book to mention, and that is Destiny Surrender, and this is part of the Destiny series. It is the second book in the series. This book follows our two main characters, Andrew and Billy is a prostitute, and that is how they meet. So as far as like steam goes, Forbidden was pretty low steam. It was more like a romantic kind of historical romance. Indigo was very slow burn, slow seduction, flowery writing, and then Destiny Surrender is pretty high steam because our main character is a prostitute. And I mean, like, the very first sentence of the book, I would read it, but like I gotta think of the kiddos, okay? Like, it's just, it goes there. So yeah, it just like jumps right into the steam. The chemistry of these characters is explosive. This is not a spoiler, but Billy ends up getting pregnant with Andrew's child. I don't like the secret baby trope. I have never liked the secret baby trope, but this one is done extremely well. She has a great reason for not telling him right away when she does discover that he is the father. About a year into the baby being born, I think he's just about to turn 1 year old, she ends up going to Andrew's estate and telling him that he is the father of her child and that she needs protection because she is running from a very powerful man who wishes her and her baby harm. So they kind of come together to protect the baby. There's this awesome chemistry, hate to love situation going on. This book was amazing, and you guessed it, I gave it a 5 stars. All the Beverly Jenkins books, 5 stars. 5 stars for you and 5 stars for you. Normally, with my author binge videos, I just read 3, maybe 4 books and then I end the video, but I am honestly just having an amazing time reading these books. So I really, really want to continue reading Beverly Jenkins. So we're just going to keep going with this video. Since I just finished Destiny Surrender, I really, really want to finish the rest of the series. I have the 3rd book in this series, Destiny's Captive, so I'm gonna see how far I can get into this book. I'll give you guys an update when I have more information, and yeah, but so far Beverly Jenkins is exceeding my expectations. It is time to wrap this video up. I've been filming for like a week and a half, maybe. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt, same outfit, same everything as my intro. I completely forgot to film an intro, so we're filming the intro and the outro on the same day. We're just working with it. Okay, so yesterday was July 4th. I hope you guys were all safe and maybe got to spend some time with your families. As you guys know, I am a huge, huge Hamilton fan, and Hamilton came out July 3rd. So I watched that with my family on July 3rd. Mom was kind enough to get like this huge Jumbotron. Since we're still sticking in this quarantine thing, we stayed home. We decided we were just gonna spend some time with us, with my family. My mom was kind enough to get like this huge Jumbotron, and there was popcorn and cotton candy, and there was like this cool outdoor Connect 4 toy that we got, and we just had a huge movie night. We watched Hamilton on the big screen. We watched Hamilton again with my grandma the very next day. We all cried. We all loved it. It was amazing. I will throw in some video clips on how we spent the weekend. Let me know how you guys spent the weekend down below. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this video and we're gonna talk about the Beverly Jenkins books that I read. So I went ahead and listened to Destiny's Embrace in audiobook. That is the first book in the Destiny series. I always feel like I need to read books in order, so I went back and read the first book. That features Logan and Mariah. This book was amazing, no shocker there. The main characters are Logan and Mariah. Mariah comes from a very abusive family. Her mother is very abusive, verbally and physically. She has dreams and aspirations to own her own dress shop, but she knows that's not something that she can do at home, so she ends up moving away from her mother's house and going across the country to California. I think she lived in Philadelphia previously. She sees this ad in the paper that our hero Logan is looking for a housekeeper, so she decides to go on the adventure, get on a train, head to California, and is his housekeeper. When they meet, they have a very like opposites attract, love, hate type of relationship. Their banter is absolutely hilarious. I loved them together. I loved this book. This entire series is just so amazing. And it's one of those series, like, when I listen to this audiobook, I listened to it in one day. Super addicting, super fast paced. I really, really enjoyed this book. The audiobook was fantastic. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I've given almost all of Beverly Jenkins' books a 5 stars, and it's not that I didn't love this book any less, but I just like some of the couples in her other books a little bit better. So this one got a 4 out of 5 stars. Still absolutely amazing. Would highly, highly recommend. Again, I would say if you guys are just getting into historical romance, this is such an amazing series to get started in. I cannot sing the praises enough. We have the third and last book in that series, and it's Destiny's Captive. I literally just started this book. I'm like only on page 7, so I don't have really any thoughts for it. Follows our main character Noah and Pilar. I think it's Pilar. Guys, I struggle with pronouncing names. I'm sure you guys just laugh at me and how I butcher people's names, but anyways, this follows the youngest Yates brother, who is a pirate, and he gets his ship stolen by our heroine, and they have, again, like this kind of enemies to lovers situation going on while he tries to get his ship back because she took it from him. So that just sounds super amazing. Our main character sounds super badass, and I can't wait to finish it. But this video is getting really, really long, so I will update you guys on my Goodreads and on Instagram of my final thoughts of this book if you want to follow me there. But it's time to wrap up this video. In conclusion, Beverly Jenkins is amazing, which I'm not surprised about because you guys have been telling me that for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm so glad that I had the time to read from her. I definitely feel like I could do a part 2 to this video. She has such an extensive backlist, and I want to get to more of her books, and I just recently bought more of her books on Thrift Books, so I might, how many times am I going to say books in this video? I might do a part 2 if you guys are interested in it. If not, I always update you guys on my Goodreads and my Instagram. You guys know the drill. That I just wanted to add, I was editing this video and I thought I'd throw this in here. Something that I wanted to add is that in the podcast that I was listening to and that I was talking about earlier in the video, Fated Mates with Sarah McLean, talked about the reason that romance is really great. And one of the reasons that romance is really great is because, what did they say? Oh my gosh, now my mind is like blanking. They said romance truly captures characters finding their own identity. And when they said that, I immediately thought of Beverly Jenkins. I feel like she has just absolutely mastered her craft and mastered the art of creating characters that you connect with, and you really get to discover their passion and their identity and like just amazing character development. That's all in these books. She needs to write like a master class because she has done that so well. So I wanted to add this in there. I think that's why I'm like just falling in love with all of her books, is because her characters are amazing. I love all of them. I can't even like pick one over the other because the way she writes them, you just can't help but feel connected to them and feel like you're reading a real story that could have taken place. I just thought I'd throw that in there because, gosh, these characters are just so well fleshed out, so well written, just amazing, truly. In total, we read like five books this week, I think. Can I count? My favorite book that we read this week is Forbidden. I think this is probably my favorite Beverly Jenkins book. I just love Rhine so much. Rhine is so fine, sweet like wine. Ooh, chemistry was just amazing. It was like this really romantic story that I loved so much, and the conversation of our male character passing as white and having those privileges was a very interesting topic and something that is extremely important. And I just loved everything about this book. Like, for me, this is like the pinnacle, the tip top, the absolute gold, creme de la creme of historical romance. This is everything that historical romance should embody. If I were to give any recommendation for this video, I would recommend Forbidden. Just 5 out of 5 stars. Favorite book of the year. Can I rave about it enough? I don't think so. Okay, next. Also read Indigo, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend the audiobook. I don't know if I mentioned that our main character is also French, and in the audiobook, The narrator has like a French accent, and it was a really enjoyable audiobook. It is a bit longer. I think it's like 13 hours, but it goes by super quick. So 5 out of 5 stars for sure. Next, we read Destiny Surrender. 5 out of 5 stars. Loved our heroine. I love how she was a little bit different because our heroine is a prostitute. I feel like when you read historical romance, a lot of the times you get like that very shy, demure, virgin wallflower. It's like the same prototype in every single historical romance. Heroine Eddie was very different in that regard. Very independent, strong-willed, just loved her. Loved everything about her. She was such a good mother, and I loved how she wanted to do anything she could to protect her son. So 5 out of 5 stars. But that is it. Wow, this was such a great experience. I think this is my favorite author binge that I've ever done. This is like the most 5 stars I have ever given an author. Just, she blew me away. Just, I'm so pleased, and I can't tell you enough, read Beverly Jenkins. She's fantastic. I feel like this video is so long, so if you guys stayed till the end, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you guys next time.